All right. Good evening, everybody. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Mark. This is the Fakeologist Show. It is Monday, November 14th, 2022. We do this show Sunday through Thursday around 8 to 8:30 p.m., depending on how fast we get the guests connected. And tonight we had a little bit of issue.
That would be me.
Yeah, you can hear Mark in the background chomping at the bit. And we worked hard to connect him to the Restream studio. That didn't work. We're using the plain old telephone system, which probably isn't even a plain old telephone system anymore. But yeah, we do this show Sunday through Thursday, 8 to 8:30. I said that. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, DLive, and also FakeoTube. FakeoTube.com is my platform. That's where I put my favorite videos. And that's where I stream live. And in the FakeoTube screen, you will see a FakeoTube chat. And I usually bring that up on the screen. And I usually try and look at it, although last night I had too many guests to remember to look at it. So anytime you put a message in the chat, it turns into a comment underneath the video when the video renders, which usually renders quite quickly right after the show finishes. Tonight, we have Mark Tokarski of pieceofmindful.com. He and I have similar interests and similar blogs. And he's on the phone now, the old-fashioned phone. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Ab. How are you?
Good. You were going to get your new microphone going on. And
well, I'm looking at it, but it's looking back at me with dead eyes. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not easy to help over the phone without seeing what you're doing. But
yeah,
you had all the settings right, but it just doesn't seem.
I took this microphone. I have a program that does video, not recording, but it takes my words and prints them out in front of me.
Yeah.
It's called, and I use this, and compared to the old microphone I had, it was just fantastic. Spelling words correctly and all that kind of stuff, and I could hear myself through the earplugs that I use that are plugged into it. So it's really an advance, but I just have to figure out how to use it.
Yeah. So apparently you had ankle surgery or foot surgery. How's that doing?
Oh, it's okay. I hiked 2.3 miles today.
Oh, wow.
Just doing that, it hurts right now because I did that, but I wear an ankle brace, and it's just slowly healing, and I want to work it just to, keep the motions. I have to be careful to stay on flat ground and not roll off a curb and stuff like that. But for 2 weeks, I was on a knee scooter. And then for 3 weeks after that, I was in a boot. And now we saw the doctor last Tuesday, and he said, you won't see me again. You're done. And so it's just on its own to heal now. And he says that by January 1st, I'll be skiing again.
Wow. Well, good for you. And you're in your 70s, I think.
Yes, cross-country skiing.
Today I talked to Tom Quinn, who I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He does a radio show in Santa Cruz, California, and he's 73, and he's been talking about. What he said is he's bought his own radio hour on an AM radio station.
Really?
And costs $300 for an hour, and he's had the slot on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific. And
sometimes things like that can take off.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I talked to him for a few hours today, and then I told him I was recording, and then I said, "Do you mind if I publish it?" And he said, "No, you can't," because he said, "I didn't realize you're going to publish it." I said, "Okay." So I wouldn't have talked for 2.5 hours had.
Well, I hope you had a nice conversation.
Oh, he's a nice guy, a very friendly person. He is pushing the no virus part of the pandemic extremely hard. That's what he talks about every single week, apparently. And so I'm going to be on his show maybe a week Saturday.
Do I
And
get to listen to it?
yeah, well, I can't. I'm going to be on the road, so I don't know how exactly to listen to his show. It's on a radio station. I don't know if it streams, so you may have to wait till it's downloadable.
Yeah. There
Hmm.
used to be that gal in on the seashore in California that did all the Kennedy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Can't think of her name. Uh, anyway, she probably was controlled opposition,
Mm.
and she was putting all this stuff out on the radio every Saturday on an AM station.
And that's
Maybe.
pretty cool. I just don't know if any. I said to him, I don't know if anyone's listening anymore to AM radio. When I even people in old cars, they have their headphones in their ears, so they're not listening to the radio. That's for damn sure. So I'm not.
Oh yeah, I just found out today or yesterday that Conan O'Brien is taking over Satellite 106,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's going to be monopolizing my time because I love that guy.
Oh, okay. What's Satellite 106? Is that a
That
radio?
is, yeah, it is XM 106.
Okay. I don't listen to simulated satellite radio, so I wouldn't know. But if you,
Well, whatever it is,
yeah.
he's going to be there, and
All right,
I
that's
think
good.
he's the funniest man alive. So
Wow. Oh, good. Well, that's good. I'm not really into comedians and all that, but I'm just too serious listening to talk to podcasts rather in my area of expertise and interest, which of course is the people that have taken over the world. And you wanted to talk because you were upset with the latest midterm selections. You thought there
well,
was lots of fraud, and now I see you made a post on your blog saying, "Oh, you kicking yourself for falling for it
yes,
again,
yes, aren't
Lucy."
many of us are that we thought, and the stock market was going right along with it, that
Mhm.
there's going to be a red
Wave.
shift, and the market 2 days before the election was up 300, and then 2 days, one day before the election, up 400, and then it never materialized. And I thought the same old stuff going on again. They're not counting the votes; they're just playing us.
Yeah, and they're still playing. Is it has it been resolved in Maricopa County? I had to look up Maricopa County to see where in Arizona it was, and it's basically Phoenix, the metropolitan
Yeah,
Phoenix
I don't
area.
know. I haven't looked. I just
Yeah,
I
it
turned it
is.
all off.
Yeah.
Is it still
So
going on?
I think they're still counting. I don't even know if it matters anymore other than the governorship of Arizona. Does it matter with regards to the Congress or the Senate? I don't think so. I think
No, no. U.S. Federal government and the state governments are technically different,
no, I know that, but they've already
but
decided. So what are they counting in Maricopa County that's holding everyone's breath? Just the
I have no
governorship?
idea.
Yeah, okay.
It must be the governorship, and
Mhm.
we have a strange past in that when our country was formed after the revolution and they put in a new constitution, the states were running the show, and the federal government had very little power. So that if the Bill of Rights, if the states didn't want to follow the Bill of Rights, they didn't care. None of your business, federal government. And then we had the Civil War, and after the Civil War, we had a thing called the 14th Amendment,
Right.
and that was the coup d'état, where the federal government took over the states. So now you can elect a governor in Arizona, but the feds still run the show. Much of that is just for show.
This Arizona's election is over and the clear winner is you. So who won? I don't even know what they're talking about.
No idea what that means.
And get this, I don't know if this is the county clerk of Maricopa. He's been all over the media saying, "Oh, it takes time to count a ballot," and this is just crazy talk.
Yeah, one of my blog posts was I'll go back there, but it's an AP writer in Nevada talking about um, yeah, here it is.
Which one is it?
It's called My Bad.
Yeah,
And
I'm
at the very
looking.
bottom, I reprinted this article called Ballot Hand Counting Begins Slowly in Nevada. And the point that this guy is trying to make is that counting ballots by hand is just tedious and shouldn't be done, that you got to let the machines do it.
Well, we still count the ballots by hand for our federal elections here in Canada, and it takes a couple hours. It doesn't take that long. I watched them count, and they were
But this
whining.
guy,
Mhm.
no, this guy, he's AP, Associated Press in Nevada, and he's saying, oh no, they've only counted 5 or 6 ballots in several hours,
That's BS. That's not true.
which is nonsense. And then later on, he says Nye County, where about 33,000 people are registered to vote.
So there's your 33.
Yeah. And I went, and it took all of 5 minutes to look up the number of registered voters in Nye County, and it was 40,419. So why did they use 33,000? And he's signaling that these recounts are going nowhere.
Well, he's just signaling the whole thing is BS. That's how I see it. It's
Yes,
just a BS.
exactly.
It's another BS story. It doesn't take that long. And there's actually no rush to count ballots. If you wanted to be truthful, you could wait all week. It's not a rush, but it doesn't take that
No,
long, and it's not that big of a deal. And if you want to recount them, then you just pull out the box again and make sure it didn't escape any chain of custody. It's not a big deal.
yeah. Yeah, we had a deal in Wisconsin uh, several years ago for the state Supreme Court judge, and it was a real paper chase trying to run down the ballots, and they disappeared and they reappeared, and the seals were broken, and then a laptop computer turned up after the recount was done that turned the election over because the votes on the laptop computer had not been counted. It was just pure theater.
So, do you still believe in voting as a piece of mindful person who doesn't believe a lot of the things you're told? What does voting mean
Um,
to you?
Mostly no. For president, obviously not.
Hmm.
Uh, Senator, high offices, governor, no. But something happened in Montana in 2020 that caught my eye in that it was a Democratic Party run state. And 2020 in November, people were fed up with COVID and masks and all that kind of stuff. And the vote count turned out the governor, the secretary of state, the attorney general, the head of schools, and both houses of the state legislature. The entire thing flipped over to the Republicans. And the first thing the governor did was do away with mask requirements. And then after that, the legislature passed a law that said that no job in the state of Montana can be based on vaccination status.
Okay.
Okay, so I looked at all of that and I thought, well, these elections seem to have mattered, because they actually had an effect on public policy. But I don't know any more than that because these things are often, you know, they're kind of spun for us, and we're given hope, and then they take the hope away.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't think it matters at all who wins because it all comes down to money, and who controls the money controls what gets done or not gets or does not get done. And
Yeah, yeah. The other thing I mentioned in my blog post was 1992. Bill Clinton was the presidential candidate, and he wasn't very popular. The guy that was supposed to win was a guy by the name of Bob Dole,
right.
and he had a great lead. And then a fellow by the name of Ross Perot stepped in.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah, and he said that, I'm running for president. I'm forming the American Independent Party, and things were going great. It was polling well and everything like that, and then he pulled out.
Yeah.
And then he got back in, and then he pulled out again. And it became obvious that his job was to pull votes away from Bob Dole so that Clinton could be elected, because Clinton was the fair-haired boy.
Yeah, he's the Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah.
He's the Rhodes Scholar that's infiltrated the entire world, and before the WEF was even really a going concern.
The thing I realized when all of that happened, and many years later, I wasn't that smart, was that they were actually counting votes at that time, which is why they had to bring Perot in to pull votes away from Bob Dole.
Mm-hmm.
These days they can just flip a switch on a computer and it's done.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone believes that a computer is necessary, and there's just no way to validate it whatsoever at all. There's just no way.
Yeah. The only thing you have is a paper trail. And if this AP reporter in Nevada is correct, the paper trail is just too difficult. We don't know how to count anymore.
Yeah.
So elections, vote counting is over.
So what's the future?
It probably has been for a long time.
What's the future, do you figure?
I don't know. They're going to hand us this stuff just like this election. Massive turnout of Democrats, but they're all still sitting there. You can't get rid of the bastards.
You and Steve Kelly is. I like reading the comments. You got gooders, of course.
And yeah, if podcasts, they are the first people I'm going to contact. Steve Kelly, especially.
Yeah, he's good. He's saying the October surprise was the 90-day public health emergency extension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the United States is still one of the only countries in the world where you cannot go in officially without a vaccine passport or a vaccine proof of vaccination.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh yeah, they extended that into April, so about 90 days, I guess, from now.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, and they don't enforce it at the border, I'm told, but it's still enough to be a hindrance for anyone who wants to make plans to cross the border.
We were thinking about it. We're not leaving the country, but we would sure like to get back to, I say, the Alps of Europe and hike there again. And my wife says, yes, I hear you. We indeed should be going to Africa to do a safari.
Ah, well,
so,
as an American, Americans can come back into the United States. It's just non-Americans can't come in without.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can go back in. I'm an American too, but the rest of my family couldn't get in technically. So.
Yeah. Okay, because our daughter is flying over from France for Thanksgiving, and she's an American.
It'll be fine.
And she's also a Canadian.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, she lives up here?
She went to school up there, and she became an employee of the Red Cross as a Canadian citizen.
Okay.
And yeah, and now she's a dual citizen.
Oh, just by virtue of working.
As a tax preparer, I can tell you that gets pretty complicated.
Yeah, well, there's supposed to be a tax treaty, so everything we pay here counts with the IRS. You shouldn't have any. There's only a couple things that are incompatible, but if you wiggle things around, it's not a big deal. But that's the whole reason I got into truth, is because of the IRS requiring all Americans, no matter where they lived, no matter if they ever lived in the United States, to submit. And at the time, I had no idea really what the IRS was all about and whether it was going to hinder my crossing over the border. Just had no idea, and that's how I got into 9/11, etc. So,
yeah, well, it depends on who was the dominant country, and it happens too with the states down here. That I have income from Utah, but I'm a Colorado resident.
Oh yeah.
So I pay tax to Utah, and then take a credit on my Colorado tax.
Oh, so you have interstate tax agreements.
Yeah, that's true all over the country.
Yeah.
So that part they have ironed out.
By the way, I'm going to close the YouTube stream right now. We haven't said anything really offensive to YouTube, but just in case, we're going to close out on YouTube. So if you want to watch the rest of this video or listen to it, you can go to fakeologist.com to download under the podcast section, FAK 646, Mark Tokarski, or you can go to fakeotube.com and search for FAK 646 and get the rest of it.